Welcome to SideTrak'd. I'm your host, Dennis Kaminsky. Here with me today, my guest, podcaster, friend, Dylan Woolley.
Bird up, bird up.
How have you been, Dylan?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been pretty rainy the past couple of days, so it's just been kind of chill, but other than that, fuck winter time.
I know. It hasn't even really felt like winter this year, though.
Gets dark at 5 p.m.
Luckily, it hasn't been freezing cold. It's actually been like 70,
I know.
but now we're starting to get back down there, so.
The world's on fire, baby.
Just been staying in and watching movies?
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of movies actually lately.
Anything good?
I finally watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, good shit. You checked it out finally?
Yep.
It's a great movie.
Jim Carrey's just got the scruff the whole time. Kate Winslet's got like 9 different hairs.
Clementine?
I know, that's a cool ass name. So is Tangerine. That's a really good Led Zeppelin song too.
Yes, it is.
God damn. And those are really good to eat.
Tangerines. Clementines.
Yeah, little Clementine. But yeah, it was really good. I didn't realize all those people were in it. Elijah Wood was a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, Kirsten Dunst is in that movie.
I know. Spider-Man wasn't even in it.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
They did the upside down kiss.
Yeah.
And like we were like 10 and everybody in the movie theater was like, "Oh my god!"
Talking about Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
So
We're
you
talking
got a
about
different
Eternal
version of Eternal Sunshine.
I know. I got like, it was like
Director's cut
yeah, the extended
or
version.
fan fiction.
Yeah, that one got weird. There would have been like way too many sex scenes, but yeah, it was good. Mark Ruffalo's in that shit. It's a skinny Mark Ruffalo, so not Hulk Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, younger Mark Ruffalo on that one.
Elijah Wood smelled those panties.
It's a spoiler.
Oh shit. Yeah, spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen it. It's from 2004. Who's the director from that? Has he done anything else?
I believe so, but I don't know who
I think
it is
it's
off the top
I
of my
think
head.
it's Being John Malkovich possibly. Or wait.
Spike Jonze?
Oh, that's Spikey Jonesy?
I'm fairly certain.
Oh, never mind then.
Being John Malkovich. Can we fact check that? Thank you.
Somebody call in.
Give us the answers. No, I really like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think what I really like about the movie is it's a movie that once you've seen it once, when you go back and watch it a second time, it starts completely different than it did the first time you watched it.
Because the opening scene's the ending scene, and now you know
Yeah.
it's like watching Get Out.
Exactly, yeah. You get the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, that was good. Because at first I was confused, and then I was like, oh, that must have been what it's gonna be after he deleted it.
Spike Jonze is being John Malkovich, correct? Yeah, I knew that. Michael Gondry, what else has he done?
Spike Jonze did her, right?
Yes. Spike Jonze is also an incredibly popular music video producer, or music video director. He was famous for doing those first, I believe, and they transitioned into film. Did a lot of Weezer videos. And fucking Buddy Hollywood, that blew up.
Damn, yeah. Good for him. I think he did Beastie Boys, too.
All
But he's done a
right.
job.
Yeah, he's done a few other movies.
Any other good ones?
Nothing that I'm familiar with, but I'm sure his fans would definitely.
I thought it was
argue
creative
for it.
how he bounced through, like, he wrote the movie telling it through his dreams.
Oh, I love that movie. That's got such a creative concept. I know for almost certain that it won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay.
That was
So-
a great twist, too, with Kirsten Dunst. They had to erase her memory because they had an affair before, and I was like, ooh!
Super spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen quite yet.
Yeah.
Although,
It's from 2004.
yeah, I know. That's 15 years ago. There is a window. What do you think the window should be for spoilers on something legitimately, like in real time? Like the ending of Game of Thrones, how long after can you start going in and explaining it to people before you think it's like a
Probably like
dick move?
after a full year.
Think it's a year?
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest with the way that the internet is now, I think you get a month.
For real, shit gets spoiled like an hour after what has got to go on because people want to be the guy that goes on there to get it on there first and be like, Game of Thrones, Cersei got bent over at the end. And you're
Yeah.
like, people just want to fucking throw that shit out there as quick as they can on
They want to
Reddit.
spoil it before it even comes out. I actually used to work with somebody when I worked at the movie theater who their job before I was working with them was to go to sets and take pictures. And then he just posted it on like fan pages and forum boards and stuff
What a scumbag.
just to kind of spoil the movie.
I'm just kidding. I don't even know that guy.
Oh, I mean, I'm not going
What
to
a
say
scumbag
anything,
job.
but it's a shitty job. Yeah. I think that's an incredibly shitty job. It's very rude to the people who are working their ass off on trying to get a cool concept out there.
That's probably what the people that work for TMZ feel like because they're all pieces of shit.
In my opinion, TMZ is like the scummiest fucking job on the entire earth. Like, I don't care how rich somebody is. You don't have the right to follow them while they're pissing. That's what it feels like. They're like right there on your ass all day, and then they catch you when you're in your most vulnerable spot. And in fairness, celebrities put themselves in some pretty vulnerable positions on a regular basis. But even then, doesn't mean you get to just follow them around. It's so weird to me.
And then they're ran by the ringleader, that guy with the 19 cups, Harvey Levin. That's it, Harvey Levin. We're calling you out.
Going at Harvey Levin.
Yep.
This is a fight you do not want, I promise. We will lose that legally. I guarantee
Oh, yeah,
you
they're
that.
going to like take pictures of us while we're showering and leak them and stuff.
Oh, I forgot. They got the leverage, too.
Yeah, they're going to have people in the bushes within the hour.
I just meant TMZ runs that shit, man. They got that Kobe stuff.
They took the
so
pictures
fast.
before the fucking
Yeah.
family even knew and leaked that they're like,
I know, that was
Kobe
fucked
died
up.
in
That
a
was a
helicopter accident. That's how we knew. That's how everybody found out.
Man,
Yeah,
it's
that
such a
shit's fucked up, man.
That's such a shitty way
They
to
have
find
no
stuff out.
boundaries, TMZ.
Oh, it's all about the clicks.
I know. They're just like, we just got to get that revenue and the exposure. Fuck people's feelings.
Because the cool thing is, for their perspective, I guess that's the benefit of being them. You can post it under the like excuse of this is news, and then when people have an issue with it, you can just pull it off. But you've already benefited from the clicks, so it doesn't make a difference.
I know. You already got all that advertising.
And let's be honest, in the news cycle, very rarely do stories ever have a lifespan longer than just the day that it
24
happened.
hours.
Exactly. So it's not like in a month you're going to need people to go back and click on that article anymore. So if you got that 5-hour pop that they got when that shit happened, because you know damn well that's what happened, even though you're the pieces of shit that gave the information to the family, you don't have to apologize. You can just take it off and go, oh, we didn't know. My bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
they usually
exactly.
put out an
But then you
apology
also
and just
got
take it away.
200 million viewers in the last 8 hours.
You get
so
all
you're
that.
like, all right.
You get all the ad. People want to buy ads because they see all those clicks.
Yep.
So you're like, we're doing it.
I know. It's a weird business.
That's you do the Scrooge and McDuck backstroke and the gold coins. Did you ever watch DuckTales?
A little bit. I've seen the meme at least.
What are their names? Huey, Dewey, and Louie?
Something like that. Honestly, I didn't know their names, but I remember there was a Saturday Night Live sketch where they had the two guys from Dick in a Box performing against
It's my dick in a box.
the crazy, what were they called? Steve Martin and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, a couple of wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, they had those guys, and then it was Bobby Moynihan. Do you remember that sketch? It was a game show. It was a dating show.
Oh, they let a new guy join them?
It was I think it was Justin Timberlake hosting, but one of the things they asked, what are your favorite names or something?
Oh, and Bobby Moynihan was the regular guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, why the fuck, how am I losing this? I
I
remember.
know, every single time
So
they asked him
Bobby.
a question, they would do a performance. He's like, did they get the questions
Oh,
ahead of
yeah,
time?
that actually was a funny sketch.
He's really good at playing his role on SNL, which is like just kind of questioning like the authenticity of the sketch. Like, this doesn't make sense.
He had that other funny ass sketch where he was like, they were in space or something and he was on the ship and it's my kitty cat.
Oh, I remember that sketch. That's an underrated sketch in my little kitty cat.
That's all he just kept saying, and he had a cat.
Maybe
Or
it
no,
wasn't good.
it wasn't there. He was missing it or something, and then he pulled it out of a backpack or something, and they were all like,
Remember
"Damn
when
it!"
he found it dead?
Oh yeah,
No.
I know, man. He knew his role.
Yeah, he's a good. Keenan was like that too. I've always felt Keenan was great on Saturday Night Live.
He
'Cause
overstayed his
can,
welcome,
He
though.
can kind of, yeah, a lot of guys on Saturday Night Live do, but he can blend into the background really well, and then jump out and say something hilarious,
He always has a good face when they cut to. He was like,
and blend right back into the
"But we don't have
background.
video, so it's hard to see what face I was doing for the viewers."
Yeah, it was a good face.
Yeah, just picture like when you're playing that board game, Don't Wake Daddy, and you hit the buzzer, and then Daddy wakes. That's the face you would make. You guys ever play that game?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh,
on
it's like
that
this
one.
board game. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was like this shitty board game. It's one where you gotta like go around the board, and at the end of the board is like Daddy in a bed, and it's a thing. Every time you get a question wrong, I forgot what proc the button pressed when you pressed it. It was so fucking stressful. Because you never knew, like, if you press a button, the fucking dad would launch and his dumbass sleeping cap would fly off and you lose automatically.
Oh, I've seen that game. I know what you're talking about. I just didn't own that.
I know. Don't Wake Daddy. It's a weird one.
Admittedly, I didn't own too many board games growing up. We only had like 2 in my house. I went to some people's houses and they owned like all of them. Which
Some
was,
people still even play board games to this day.
to this day.
Yeah, like people our age.
Yeah, I don't know.
never really was a big board game either.
They're hit or miss for me. I think it depends on the group you're playing with, to be honest. But I think if you got a good group of people, you can make anything interesting regardless of what it is.
Yeah, board games to me, like back in the day, I'd only do it like if I was going to my grandma's house because it's like old school. They're like, "You want to play a board game?" You're like, "I guess."
Most board games don't feel like they're very strategic. It's all fate.
I know.
So then your family just gets stressed
Like, this
out,
shit's all based
starts
off
beating the
luck.
shit out of each other, and then You get chips all over the floor, and then somebody gets mad about that, and then they grab your face and shove your nose in it so you learn your lesson.
Somebody ends up flipping the fucking board game and the pieces go flying, and then
You can never play again because you lost half of the pieces because that shit went far.
I know. And someone always gets too drunk, and then you end up getting the shit kicked out of you and a chair broken over, and the game's ruined, and it's not fun anymore.
Your uncle sits on the timepieces. Was that the name of that game? Life? Was it Life?
That was always my favorite game because it was like so many different things.
Was
And
it
it was
the
like
pieces
Life.
on Life look kind of like chess pieces,
Humans.
like pawns, right?
No, they were human. There was a boy and a girl,
In Life?
and you sat in a car. Yeah.
Maybe I'm not talking about the right game then. That's why I double checked.
Which ones are you talking about? Monopoly had the one
remember.
like the.
No, I know what Monopoly
Symbol
is.
ones.
Which is the one that had the...
Sorry.
Was
That
it
was
Sorry?
fun. Yeah.
Where the pieces look like pawns, kind
Yeah,
of?
that's sorry.
Yeah, that's the one that my
You
uncle
gotta go
sat
all the way
on.
around and get all of them in your little section wherever you started.
Yeah, we only had the green and the blue one because my uncle sat on the other two.
Oh shit.
So we never got them back.
Yeah.
That's the game.
That sounds
I was looking at,
humiliating.
though. He did say sorry though, for what
like,
it's worth.
Sorry.
He won.
They always had so many versions of that game. Like they made it like a Disney version, but they did that with all. They did it with like Monopoly.
What was the board game where you would answer trivia questions, and there was like a DVD version of it as well?
Oh,
Do you know what
shit.
I'm talking about?
That's some fucking 21st century shit. I ain't never heard of a DVD version.
I had a version of it that was like a sports game, and you would go on a board, and then you would land on a piece, and then you would either answer a trivia question with the cards, or there was a DVD that came with it, and they would do like video questions. It was
What the fuck?
It was a fairly popular video or board game.
I don't know. That
Double
sounds.
search this for me real quick.
That sounds way
Trivia
too
board
modern
game.
for
I
me.
would look it up, but it was out when we were kids, and I had a sports version of it. I remember that, and we would play that. And we honestly didn't ever play the board game. We would just jump to the TV,
Yeah, that'd be
have
the
it
way
ask us
better.
questions.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Probably
Oh, that was
Trivial
a big
Pursuit.
one.
That's
I never
exactly
played
what
that.
I'm talking about.
I've
Was there
never
a
played
Trivial
that.
Pursuit for like every kind of category? There's like a Star Wars Trivial
I think
Pursuit.
so. Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, I had a sports version of that. I had like an ESPN version. So Trivial Pursuit is the game that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've never played that one.
I was very good at that. That's why I was so good when we did that Jeopardy thing on Sacred Time.
Oh yeah,
I was like trivia.
I know that shit's fun. Like you can go to a bar.
We used to
throw
do
a
that
drink
very
in someone's
often.
face.
Oh,
Trivial
maybe it
Pursuit,
was
seen
Seen It. Let me
Seen
see what
It?
these look like.
Seen it? I ain't never
Seen
heard
It's
of
the
that.
one I'm talking about. Seen It's the game that I had.
Yeah,
Trivial
never even
Pursuit's
heard
some
of that.
bullshit.
I've heard of Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, gotcha.
Girls Gone Wild?
Played that when I was a kid sometimes too.
Because you'd always see like you'd stay the night and then it'd be like 3 a.m. on MTV and then that's when you hear like the fucking congos and they're like the boo doo boo boo. You're like, oh shit, here comes the fucking Girls Gone Wild
Creepy advertisements. Yeah.
But
That's
I've-
crazy. Those were on TV like that.
It was like 3 a.m. I
'Cause
think
a lot of
anything's
those girls,
allowed.
I'm pretty sure, were probably underage. That would make them.
Hell
most
yeah,
sense,
spring
'cause,
break and
yeah,
they're like,
you're
we'll give
cutting
you
it pretty
$1,000
close.
bucks.
So that's wild to imagine them advertising that recklessly on MTV like that, because it doesn't seem like something like that would fly today. I'm also pretty
Hell
sure
no.
that the guy from Girls Gone Wild ended up getting a really big lawsuit at some point for that exact reason that I just named.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like a sexual harassment or a rape, possibly,
Yeah,
allegedly.
That's a bold claim, so we're gonna.
I don't know. It's
double
probably
check
not
that
for
one.
him. He's a Girls Gone Wild guy.
But
I
just
only
in case it wasn't rape,
I've only ever seen that in physical, like a physical copy, and once like someone's ever had that.
I have never met anybody in my life that actually owned a Girls Gone Wild,
Or
or at
was a
least
kid.
knowingly.
Yeah, it was a kid that I used to hang out with when I was a little younger, and I went over there. We have breaking news on the Girls Gone Wild guy. Sexual harassment. Or younger. Statutory titty.
Yeah, so it was minor.
God damn it, Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
sounds about right.
yeah, exactly. Well, he's also advertising. I think the problem is it's Girls Gone Wild and not Women Gone Wild. I think
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
if you would just turn up a little bit and like play it safe with like 30-year-old women, but you know how they like those freshly 18 girls.
Fresh for the pickings.
Yeah, that's weird.
I only ever seen that in person one time. He was like, yeah, I can go in my stepdad's shit and grab it. Grabbed it and put it in. I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. I actually get to see it in person.
I remember the first time somebody ever brought porn out when I was a kid. It was a really weird experience, but I was fascinated by it. I went to my buddy's house, and his brother had a DVD, and he like told me about it on the way home. He's like, hey, when we get home, I got to show you something from my brother's room. And he put it on, and we played it tight. Like, we knew when his mom was getting home, but we let that shit play until like right when she was supposed to get home, as opposed
to get that
turning
nut
it
off.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then, yeah, I remember she came in and like we had to like stop it then, and we knew she was on her way too. We were just like, whoa, but yeah,
DVD porno was always the worst. They were so shitty.
yeah, I know.
There was there was a kid that had them. It was again when I was a little bit younger. And he had like, not even DVDs, like VHSs, like deep in the closet. They would put them on. I'm like, oh, this is crazy.
He had a full catalog.
Yeah, and he'd always want to jerk off like with separate blankets.
Oh,
so it wasn't gay.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept.
Yeah.
I guess if there's a blanket there, then
yeah, just so you can't see the jerking.
you're basically in separate rooms.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, kids do weird shit.
I know, man. Kids are always just horned up. You're in middle school, so it's like everyone's just like, "What's going on with my body?"
Yeah, there's a lot of teenage boys bumping uglies.
It's like all the small things. Everyone's got Blink-182 bumping.
I don't know that part.
Yeah, it's like super middle school shit. People are
Pretty sure Blink-182 is like 01.
Yeah,
like
it's like
99.
I know. This seems like teenage angst to me.
I understand completely. Those are all the movies we were watching when we were kids too.
Not another teen movie. Shit like that. The date movie. Wait,
Those
what's
were
that movie
horrible.
called?
The bad parody movies.
I know that was such our generation though.
Like Epic movie and stuff
Epic
like
movie. When they got that what's that blue chick from
Mystique.
Digimon? Mystique.
that. The Digimon from X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah, she got her to turn into like fat Britney Spears or something.
Yeah, I remember that was funny.
It
wasn't
always takes
funny.
crazy turns.
I remember actually from that, I was hanging out at a buddy's house, and during that scene, we were watching it. Okay, so on the PlayStation 3, you could turn it up to 125 speed. So everything we go really fast like that. And while we were listening to it, we watched that movie on 125, and we were just playing lines that we thought were funny. Because we were like 12 or 13
when she
years
started
old.
shaking her underarm.
And
I'm
during
like,
that
bloop, bloop.
scene, what happens is Carmen Electra's Mystique.
Oh, that's
and they're
right, that's
doing a
Carmen
sex
Electra.
scene because they just saved something, so she's giving him a reward, or she's trying to seduce him, or something like that. And he's getting her to transform into his perfect kind of a body type.
Yeah.
And at first he's like, "Make your boobs bigger," and then they inflate her boobs. And he goes, "Make your butt bigger," and he makes her butt bigger, and he smacks it. And goes,
he specifically
I know.
says, but yeah.
he smacks her butt and goes, "Badonkadonk." But on the 125 speed, it's like, "Make your butt bigger." Badonkadonk.
Oh, it was on the Badonkadonk part?
So we played that badonkadonk like word like 25 times in a row. We just keep replaying badonkadonk. Oh, I said that so fast. That's fucking hilarious.
God, dude, that reminds me of that fucking bullshit ass country song that I had to hear a million times growing up.
Oh, that honky.
Badonkadonk. Badonkadonk. I think that was the opposite actually.
He did it backwards.
Honky tonk. Badonkadonk.
You did the dyslexic version.
Who the fuck was that guy's name? Trace Adkins or some
Trace
bullshit?
Adkins, yeah.
They're
I
all
was about to
the
say
same.
Tim McGraw, but they're all Tim McGraw to me. So
Tim McGraw is we'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way. Hey.
that's Toby Keith.
Oh yeah, they're all the same to me.
So I said they're all Tim McGraw in my mind.
Yeah, fucking Toby fucking Keith.
God damn it. You know what's funny about Toby Keith? So they did the, I think it was either the Larry Cable Guy roast or the Jeff Foxworthy roast.
God damn it.
But they had Toby Keith and Patrice O'Neal on the same roast. And I'm fairly certain Patrice went hard as fuck on Toby Keith when he was roasting
Good.
him.
What'd he say?
Called
Some
him racist.
Toby Keith shit? Yeah.
Oh, no. You're talking about what did Toby Keith say?
No, what did Patrice say to
Oh, not a Patrice.
Toby?
I'm not even going to try to do a Patrice set. Because to me, Patrice O'Neal might be like one of the top 5 or 6 funniest comedians ever.
I know, he is fucking the biggest balls ever. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll say anything to anybody.
I know, sometimes for better or worse, but you know he's... The thing that I like about Patrice is even when he says some crazy outlandish shit, he sounds like he's at least thought about his position first, and he's not just making shit up off the top of his head. Like, he doesn't just say shocking things to come off as shocking. Like, he's usually he's put thought into what he's saying, and he believes it.
I know.
And I like that in comedy a little bit. Because, I mean, it's easy to just say crazy, wild shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
he's not afraid of the audience at all.
no, he
He'll sit in
embraces
that
the
shit.
conflict.
Yeah, I know. He's like, embrace it.
And that's exactly how he was during that roast. I remember when he was up there. Certain comedians shouldn't be on the stage with celebrities doing the same thing.
I know
what I mean?
I feel like they do that shit on where they're like, this is going to be a great pairing for TV.
Because they have like the writers write the celebrities' jokes for them.
yeah,
so they
most
try
of
to
the
make
time.
them look as good as possible. But when you got a guy like Patrice O'Neal out there, you know damn well he's going to torch everybody. He's going to try to outdo everybody because why wouldn't he? He can.
Yeah, I know.
You're
He was
just
the
setting
fucking
Toby
king
Keith up
roaster.
for failure.
He was the kid. Could you? How they have fucking roast battle now? That's like I think that's a show now. Could you imagine if he was still alive? He'd be the king of that show.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who I'd love to see do the shit talking.
Greg Giraldo was
Greg
good.
Giraldo would have been a
Dead.
great one.
Also
yeah,
dead.
I know. That's unfortunate. It's crazy too, because for me, I noticed that with like the comedians that I look at, like when I was a kid, it's a lot of those kind of guys because they were on Comedy Central a lot when I would watch it, and they
Yeah.
were during the roasts and a lot of those stand-up acts I saw. And a lot of those guys, like I feel like I thought they were a lot bigger than they were. Like when I talked to a lot of people, I realized they're not. I mean, I know a lot of people know like Patrice O'Neal now because he's kind of like a second life on the internet.
Yeah.
But there was a minute there where he wasn't getting no love outside of like comedy community, like the diehards.
I know. I think a lot of people don't follow comedy like that. It seems pretty small.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
He just actually came out with a new stand-up on Netflix.
I heard. How was it?
I didn't check it out. I don't really think he's that funny.
I've seen people trashing it so far.
Damn, I wonder if it's all COVID shit. Probably.
It's a tough spot right now.
Or like talking shit to The Rock or something.
Yeah, that'll do it. That's a bad stand-up act. I think if you're stand-up act, like, that's the reason to me Eddie Murphy is such an impressive comic. And Eddie Murphy Raw, like, okay, so it's really hard to punch down in comedy. You know what I mean? Because you always come off as pretentious. Like if you're punching somebody who's below you on the social status. And Eddie Murphy was legitimately on the top of Hollywood for a point in time.
I know. He had that fucking come up.
And sometimes, like when you listen to a Drake song, you hear such Drake shit, it's hard to relate to. You're like, well, I'm not on an airplane with all of these. Like he's naming models by name, and you're like, I don't ever even, you know what I mean? Like
I know,
I'm
he's
within the same state as most of these people.
He's calling out waitresses and like Hooters in Georgia.
Yeah. But
that one chick from Peach Street is in a song. And she got like famous on Instagram because of
she's
it.
a little more relatable than some of the other people, but not anymore, I guess. He shouted her out. But the point was when you're a comic, like when you get to a certain point, it's hard to be funny and talk about hanging out with like the biggest celebrities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's really hard to relate to when you get to that certain status. Eddie Murphy in Raw, he jokes about hanging out with Michael Jackson and it's fucking hilarious. With Mr. T and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like he's going at the biggest celebrities in the world. Bill Cosby, Richard Pryor, like all
And
these
he's good
guys
at
who are
impressions,
huge.
so he gets to do those too.
And it never feels like he's punching down at him. Like it always, even though he's probably bigger than, I mean, maybe not Michael Jackson at the time, but most of the other people that I just named right there, like he still comes off as like hilarious. Like he doesn't sound like he's just some rich, pretentious dude.
He was hanging out with Prince and Rick James.
Oh yeah. And every right to. He was the shit.
And then Charlie Murphy.
It's a hard spot to hit though, and I feel like that's where Kevin Hart is sometimes. That was the point to like bring it back around there. Is he's so big now that sometimes when you do his stand-up acts and he's talking about hanging out with some like major names, it's cool to kind of get the celebrity insight, I guess. Like there's a part of it that's funny to hear them like just hanging out and shit, but there's also a part of me that's always like, all right, well you're not like me. You know
I
what
know,
I mean?
man. He's like all the way up there now. He's like a fucking A-list celebrity now. He's
yeah, it's
legit
tough.
one of the biggest people. So
It's
everybody knows
isolating
Kevin
to get
Hart.
that big.
Well, The Rock's like that too.
Yeah.
So
There's a
that
lot
makes
of-
sense.
I
And
mean-
they're in a shit ton of movies together now.
Means you mastered your craft. It's a good thing. It's a good spot to be in from a professional standpoint, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's fucking probably one of the top earners.
Yeah,
He
it's
makes
not
a
going to hurt his
fuck
money.
ton. Hell no.
Dude was selling out football stadiums for a minute. And more power to him because Kevin Hart works his ass off.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? But it is harder
He's
to
got, like,
relate
the
to somebody.
Marky
who's-
Mark's kind of schedule.
Yeah, I know. He's working the Ryan Seacrest hours where it's nonstop all day, every day.
I know that'll get stressful.
3,000 projects and
You have to get like 3 hours of sleep.
2,000
every
of
day.
them aren't really that good.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, they have to have like private jets because you're constantly bouncing. You have like, all right, I got an appointment at like 2, 4, 9. You fucking shit all day, every day,
Hey, man.
nonstop.
More power to them. They're earning that money. Don't get me wrong. I'm very well aware of that. They're putting in the work for it. It's just interesting to watch them because like there's a thing that people like relate to the celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's the other way where they like to look at their rich lifestyle and kind of critique it from afar. And Kevin Hart's not so like, he's not the Kardashians where when you watch the Kardashians, you can, there's kind of like a like satirical element to watching it almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of, I don't,
You're laughing at them.
yeah, a little bit. It's weird because it's you probably shouldn't be just following their life and shit like that. But it's like,
Yeah.
there's a certain level of chaos there, and there's a certain like unawareness that they have about how rich they are sometimes that makes it really interesting. Kevin Hart doesn't have that. He's too smart to do it. But at the same time, he's so rich that when you see stuff, you're like, damn, but you're just like, you're hanging out with like Obama.
I know.
You know what I mean?
He's
Like-
like with the biggest of the big.
You're in that club in my mind, and that's a weird spot.
He's a very smart businessman. He's always investing in like shit, and I think he has a company. I'm pretty sure, dipping his toes in a shit ton of different waters.
I liked how he pushed Tiffany Haddish too.
I know, man. He helped the shit out of her,
And that's- I like
She
Kevin
fucking
Hart,
blew
yeah.
the fuck up too.
It sucks knocking his comedy like that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I know.
I wish he would kill it. Maybe I don't know. I haven't seen the act. I can't
hate
really
Joe
speak
Rogan's
on it.
comedy too. So
I know it's crazy because guys like that are so important for comedy, but they're never the biggest talent.
yeah, it's just because they're so how big they are. They can be the voice for all the other little guys, but it just so happens that they're just not some of the best comedians. They're just the biggest.
I will say Kevin Hart is, at a certain point to me, still a great comic. Like I think his first 3 major acts, I thought were all great. I don't remember the names of them, but there's like I'm a Grown Little Man.
Yeah, the one with like Shaq in the crowd. That's the one I remember.
There's the one
specifically.
before Shaq that I thought was the funniest thing. When I was a kid, there's a bit.
Which LeBron was that one too.
Yeah,
that's when they were both on the Cavs.
That's when they were on the Cavs. He shot that one
Damn,
in
that's
Cleveland.
weird.
And then there's one after that too that I thought was pretty funny. And I think the first time that I saw one where it started to go down for me a little bit was the one he did at a football stadium in Philly. You know which one I'm talking
that's
about?
when you sell out when you do the
Well,
big
I mean,
act.
hey, by the way,
That's
the
where he's
fact
from,
that he's
though.
packing a football stadium shows he's on a completely different level than
Fuck
most
yeah,
other
'cause that's-
comedians.
You don't do that in comedy usually.
But then when I watched, I don't know, man, some like Dave Chappelle, he's not pulling a football stadium necessarily, but it's hilarious from beginning until end.
Shit, he's doing arenas though now. Him and
Oh,
Rogan
yeah.
do that joint.
That's a
what's
beautiful
that?
marketing right there too. Those guys together.
He finally did the pod. I didn't actually get to watch that one.
Kind
though.
of, not
It was
really.
bad.
No, he's not on it. It's Donnell Rawlings, and he
Oh,
drops in
he
at
overtakes
the very
it
end.
again?
He just jumps in
Oh,
the
okay.
last hour.
He was just coming to hang out.
He
He's
just
like,
dropped by and then yeah. Although
Let me go.
that number is going to be huge because Chappelle's a draw.
I know that pretty much gives him the okay to throw your name in on there, so you're automatically gonna get at least like 10 million probably.
Yeah, I think he was on there for like 45 minutes. He was on for
Was he smoking?
yeah, he's smoking a cig.
Damn, he loves smoking a cig.
That's his thing now.
I
That's
know,
like an
it's
old
his-
school comic
that's his
thing. I like
calling
it.
card. He loves doing it on stage, no matter if you're not allowed. He's like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the old 50s comics and stuff. It's up there.
And people thought it was cool, and like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna die.
Exactly. It's just a nice aesthetic.
Everybody did that shit.
It's crazy to look at.
And I wish you could smoke cigarettes without getting cancer. 'Cause I would totally do it.
It's a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, and it's just something to do.
I get like
It's
that.
nice to do.
I get like that with weed sometimes, where it's just nice smoking it.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
it makes
obviously
you
it
feel good 'cause
feels
you get the
good.
buzz, yeah.
But there's like
Let's
a
say
certain
it's-
moment where you're like, these 10 minutes are nice. Then the problem is you want those 10 minutes again 10 minutes later. And that's where cigarettes will get you. Start
Mhm.
getting stressed when you don't have them.
And then you're like, that hypocrite smokes 2 packs a day.
Well, that's only if your parents take your cigarettes.
I know, man. You just got to fight for that right. I know, man. I only ever smoked cigarettes when I was in college just because my roomie did it when he was drunk. So he was just handing me it, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm drunk too. Let's smoke a cig.
Socially smoking.
Then I'd put it out in my tongue as a party trick and be like, yeah. And everybody would be like, ah, who is this guy?
It's a
I'm just
wild.
kidding, I
I
didn't
was
do
gonna
that.
say.
That'd be fucking horrifying. I'd be like, ah.
Party trick would
Sounds
go
like-
south very quick.
I know. Those people that fucking swallow their cigarette butts on the internet, like TikTok and Vine, I'm always like, Jesus Christ, how does that not burning your esophagus?
I also don't need attention that bad, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
why would you want to do that shit? Just to look like a hard ass? You're like,
I will say, growing up, pride will make you do some dumb things.
Pride and Prejudice.
You got to let go of it at a certain point, because if you're over like 14 years old doing shit like that,
I know. Yeah, fuck that.
you can't be a grown man putting cigarettes out on your own tongue and swallowing them.
Yeah, why the fuck would you ever want to swallow swords? Those
I
fucking.
don't know, man. I don't get that shit either. It's impressive to me that people can do it, but when I watch, all I can think of is like the one time you fuck up, you're gonna slit your throat.
I know,
open.
man. You're just fucking asking to get fucking cut open by a sword from the inside so you can't stitch it. You're going to bleed out and die.
I went to a haunted house one time, and they had a performer out there juggling fire sticks, and he dropped
Ooh.
one.
God damn it. Did he fall?
No, he didn't.
he
Fall.
caught on
He
fire.
wasn't like on a ball or a unicycle or anything juggling. He was just juggling fire sticks, and one of them slipped. And about 20 minutes later, he was doing swords, and he missed through one of those.
Did it stab him?
No, he didn't cut his hand off or anything. He just kind of let it drop.
God damn.
But that was twice in one night.
They hired a fucking amateur.
And he was
hour.
throwing swords and fire sticks.
That reminds me. What was that shit we watched one time? It was like during Halloween, so we watched it just to like get in the mood. It was like you have to like sign a contract. He would go and meet you at like some restaurant. You have to sign a contract, and then they go there and scare you and kidnap you.
Oh, that's a
And then,
crazy
like,
haunted
act like you were
house.
kidnapped and beat the shit out of you.
It's the something manor. That's the most fucked up thing I've ever
the
seen.
Bly Manor. I'm just kidding. It's
Yeah,
that
something
show
like
on Netflix.
that. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah, I don't like that. Watching that was a bad idea. That was a really stupid.
Yeah, that was too much. I think that guy enjoyed it too much. He just wanted to live out a dream of being a serial killer with getting away with it because you signed a contract.
Yeah, well, I'm double checking the name real quick, but basically it's a haunted house. You have to sign a disclaimer that allows them to do a lot of things to you that most haunted houses wouldn't. And they record you and you get the shit kicked out of you. Like they'll smack you in the face and shave your hair and they'll try. It's like it's not even
like
a haunted house,
humiliation.
really.
Came up was Shrek Forever After.
Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
Shrek's not a haunted house. It's not a horror movie.
Yeah, it's like a real thing.
It's a real haunted house.
It's like, yeah.
That's hilarious. Not Shrek Forever After. Although that did traumatize quite a few people.
I know, that is very creepy. Yeah, Shrek started fucking a lot.
Those Shrek videos got out there.
He was like,
Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
"Are you darn donkey?"
It's ridiculous to me that that's such a meme. But then I look back and it makes sense. The year it came out, I'm pretty sure it was the...
McCamey Manor.
Yeah, it's the McCamey
Yep.
Manor. Thank you. Yeah, that's such a wild concept.
Yeah, I would never do that bullshit. Why the fuck? What's wrong with those people that sign up for that, first of all?
They just want to go through a crazier
They're
haunted
like, yeah,
house
I can
than
fucking
normal.
handle it.
Yeah, and a lot of them, there's been a lawsuit or two on them.
But you
I'm
can't.
aware of that, but they have you sign extensive
Yeah,
paperwork.
and it's very detailed with the...
Yeah. I don't know. I did not like it. I thought it was a bad video. I don't encourage anybody to check it out, but...
Yeah, don't check it out. It's hard to... It's a
That's
hard
thing
watch.
to say, though, because now they're gonna...
Yeah, I know. But that's usually how people stumble upon this. So what's this? Ah!
You know what you guys should check out?
Huh?
Shrek.
Oh. Damn it, what's the Shrek song?
Somebody
once told me. I know, that turned into a meme, Smash Mouth.
Yeah. That's what I was saying a second ago. I couldn't believe how big of a meme it was. And then I went back and saw, like, that movie did really big numbers at the box office for the time. So
I think
I'm
I
sure
probably
that-
saw that in theater. I had that on DVD, actually.
I
Not
know.
DVD, VHS.
Then you start underestimating how many kids were burning through that DVD and VHS
Sure, yeah,
a
Shrek was
trillion
big.
times. And then you start realizing, like, oh, okay, well, it's a meme because it's been engraved into our brain when we were in our youth. And we all have an affinity for Shrek. Like, we all just watched it, so we get it. It makes sense to us.
That movie was... Yeah, I've seen that movie a fuck ton of times. Just when I was a kid, I watched it all the time because I had it.
I think besides, like, the Star Wars movies when I was a kid, I've seen Shrek and probably the first three Harry Potters more than any other movie I've ever seen.
I remember a kid, he had, like... It was a video game. It was Shrek, but it was Mario Party. It was just Mario Party with Shrek characters, pretty much.
I used to have a Shrek fighting game.
We played that. Dude, Shrek was huge then. They have all that bullshit.
It was because you could use all the fairy tales.
Do you remember at a video game at the GameStop, how they had like the used section, and you'd go in there as a kid just because video games were expensive as fuck, like $50 back then. And then there would always be the same game. I'd see it in every like used section. I'd be like, I've never ever heard of this game, and it was the cheapest video game of all time. It was always $5. It was Burger King Racing.
I wish I had Burger King Racing.
Dude, I saw it every time, and it was always curious because I saw it and it made me laugh. Like, who the fuck thought of that?
Did you buy it?
Fuck no, never. It was always there. I don't think anybody ever bought it because
Does-
it was always in a used section. Like, no matter which GameStop you go to.
Does Burger King even have any notable characters besides
The Burger
King?
King.
Yeah.
I don't
'Cause
know.
in
It's probably like,
McDonald's-
I don't know. Probably like they probably use like food items.
Like McDonald's at least has Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar and the little purple guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't remember. I don't care about it like that. But
Pokey?
I guess if you could use those characters, that'd be cool on Burger King Racing. But otherwise, it's probably items. Probably like a fry, a Whopper,
Yeah, Whopper.
a large Coke.
I know.
large
What the fuck do
Sprite.
they have? Chicken fry,
Yeah, I know.
hot Cheeto, cheese sticks.
Yeah, they got a little.
They always
out
come
there
up with
their
some
menu.
wild shit. Fuck the Burger King.
Yeah, Burger King's not my favorite of the fast food restaurants.
It's always really greasy, and then you have to shit your pants all night.
That is true.
Burger King never fails with the shit pants. Just like White Castle, but I digress on the White Castle.
Yeah, we ain't gotta get into that too much. Greatest thing White Castle ever did, by the way, was Harold and Kumar.
I think the greatest thing White Castle ever did is make chicken rings so you could put them on your fingers. Because I did that so much when I was a little kid.
Really?
Fuck yeah, dude. Nobody else had a chicken ring.
That's true. Like the infinity.
It made it fun to
gauntlet.
eat because you'd put it on your fingers and then just go all the way around. So it was a fun thing to eat as a kid. That's what I give White Castle that unique chicken stuff.
I only go to White Castle in like a worst case scenario. I used to have to do it when we worked at the pizza place.
Oh yeah,
Because you
it's
get
like
off at
fucking
like
24.
Yeah, 3:30, 4 in the morning. Sometimes it's like, all right, well, I got to go get food somewhere, and the only place that's still open around here is White Castle, and it probably took like 6 years off my life. No bullshit.
I know, man.
I only
I
got
think
it like 7 times too.
Their food is this has like a natural ingredient in every single item on their thing just to fucking destroy your stomach to the worst capabilities.
It tastes like they haven't changed the grease since it's been opened.
I think what they do is like they take the grease trap and they don't have those black things outside where it's like oozing grease. They just take it and dump it back into the fryers. They're like, we
Start
reuse our
over in the morning.
We're ethical at White Castle. We reuse all of our grease.
It is very eco-friendly. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
God damn it, fucking White Castle.
It's also a little racist.
What?
It's a White Castle.
No, back then in castle times there was only white people.
Fair enough, I guess. Then Martin Lawrence came in and changed everything. He was
I
the
know
Black
he was
Knight.
the Black Knight.
Yep. He did change everything.
But I will say, whoever gets clams from White Castle deserves to be in a straitjacket because that's criminally insane.
I didn't even know they sold clams.
Yes,
at
they
White
have
Castle.
clams on the fucking menu.
I think if you get clams from any fast food restaurant, then you probably deserve what's coming to you. Let's be honest.
Seriously, man.
But you're really taking a chance at White Chat.
Yeah, I feel like that's automatic cancer.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably. Seems like it.
They're just jamming out with their clam
Are
out.
they fried? Fried clams?
Fuck yeah. And it's that White Castle grease that we just talked
yeah.
about. The worst kind.
I'm all right there. I don't even know if clams are good. I've never had
Yeah, if
clams.
you get them from like a good seafood place.
I've never had clam. I can't speak on that. There's a lot of
Feel
seafoods that I
chewy.
haven't tried. I just tried lobster for the first time last year.
Frizz on my nizzle? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oof.
What? That was frizz on my nizzle. like our boy Snoop.
Yeah.
But yeah, lobster's the shiznit. It's like a king's feast.
Yeah, I've only had it the one time, and it was all right.
It's like a meal fit for a king. I'm
Wish
pretty
I
sure you
could've
kept saying that when we were eating it.
It's a meal fit for a king.
Yeah, lobster is good as hell. It's like people always say that like steak and lobster like is a victory meal, a big ass meal. That's always our go-to.
I can see it.
Like surf and turf.
Yeah, I don't know. I've only had it the one time, so I can't really. I've always viewed steak as a celebratory meal.
I know you
that's-
just get a fat ass steak and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That's
you
my
feel like a
go-to.
man. It's like drizzling down your face, a good juicy steak.
Rain it out over your face.
That would be disgusting. That would make me throw up.
All the
Remember we had
blood.
those stingray steaks that one time when we were in high school?
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't know what the hell those were.
I think
My
it was
mom-
stingray.
My mom bought these steaks one time, and when I was preparing them, I was like, "These are really thin, and they look like stingrays."
Yeah, basically just picture what a stingray's body looks like minus the tail. That's what the steaks look like.
So we put them in, and I tried making them on the oven, and I thought they were like we cooked them through all right. Like it was weird, but then we started eating them, and they made all of us sick immediately. So we went to Little
I
Caesars
know.
and got a hot and ready instead that night.
Good old hot and sloppies, am I right? Those things
Yeah.
will... That's another thing that'll destroy your stomach for the rest of the... That probably took 20 years off our life, and then McDonald's every night for like a summer probably took like 30 years off our life.
What do you think is the worst on your stomach? White Castle?
I don't
White
know. It's
Castle's
either
probably-
that. We didn't honestly get that a lot just because it's White Castle, so you got to stay away.
Okay, so if we're going with the big ones, it's got to be Taco Bell then.
No, I was thinking more of like... I'm just trying... Oh, yeah. What the fuck are those called? Yeah. $1 McMuffin at like 2 a.m. just because they're not giving a fuck, man. And we had that like every single night for a while.
Yeah, we were pretty broke, so we just go up there.
It
and
was
get a
good, and it's
drink
high
the
school, so you don't
McMuffin.
give a fuck about your health.
Yeah.
You're just like, fuck yeah. We're young! And then, yeah, you just get McMuffins every night at like 2 a.m. So it's fucking not breakfast. So they're just like, we're throwing this shit around. We're dropping it on the floor. Still tastes good though every time.
Oh yeah, you could definitely taste some floor in those McMuffins. You can taste the bottom of people's souls.
If you're not tasting floor in any of your McDonald's meals, then there's something wrong with that McDonald's. That's
Yeah,
their TLC.
It's their tender love and care.
That's the 40 slices or whatever. How many slices does KFC have?
I'm not 100% sure.
It's like our so and so spices.
It's our
That's like their
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember exactly how
that's
many
like their
it is.
creed.
I also know if you like, in order to get the job at KFC, you have to tell the person to go fuck themselves during the interview. Because their customer service is not the strongest generally.
I think during the interview they asked, "What are you supposed to say to the customer?" They're like, "We're out of chicken." I swear to God, I've never.
Yeah.
That happens to me at KFC all the time. And you're a fucking chicken place, first of all.
Like that Chappelle Show sketch when they have the shitty office. You know which one I'm talking about?
Oh,
Where
is
they
that
just,
that's the
say,
very first episode?
Just say you're the manager. It's like, can I speak to the manager? He's like,
I
yo,
am
what's up? I am the manager.
That's the very first sketch in the
Yeah.
very first episode.
the
That
guy
was
from
their
Half-Baked.
introduction. Oh yeah, the Latino guy or whatever.
Yep.
Damn, what the fuck else is he in? He's really short, but actually, I'm pretty sure that's that 16-year-old guy when he's like, "I am 12." The guy from Benchwarmers. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
Oh, that scene's funny when he draws it in crayon.
I don't know. Maybe that might be racist, but I don't remember. Either way, but yeah. And second of all, KFC is way worse than Popeyes. Popeyes is the best.
Yeah, Popeyes is the superior chicken place. I think that's a fair statement.
They have the best spiced chicken, and their biscuits are the best.
Yeah, Popeyes shits on KFC.
And their chicken sandwich is fucking the best. Top
Yeah,
notch shit.
They did their thing. Those lines were justified. Fuck what anybody
dude,
said.
The one across from me, it's still like that every single day.
Really?
Like the entire quarantine, every single day, I'm not even joking you, it's wrapped all the way the fuck around like into Walmart.
Hey, man, good for Popeyes.
Dude, they're making so much money off that chicken sandwich. Whoever the fuck thought of that marketing, that was the best thing that ever happened to the Popeye.
To quote the least quoted Adam Sandler movie to date, Little Nicky, Popeye's chicken is the shit's good.
Little Nicky's the shit.
Yeah, I think that movie's underrated.
I
Too.
got hit in the face with a shovel.
That's exactly what he sounds like. It's not a great movie, but there's one scene that's
movie's
funny
funny.
as hell to me at the end when they're listening to the music, and the people in hell are like, "No, listen to this album," and it's a Chicago album, and they play it backwards, and it's Satan talking, and then the two metal guys are like, "Dude, Chicago is the shit."
Those are the same fucking guys in Grandma's Boy.
That's Dante from Grandma's Boy.
When he's like, yeah, and that's always his funniest role when he's just a dumbass and like says some. He always has like one sentence in every movie that he's in that's hilarious.
He's like, "Dude, it's for you. I think it's the devil."
Drive, monkey, drive! Because I don't know what it is, but every time that scene, I fucking crack the fuck up laughing.
Grandma's Boys is also an incredibly underrated comedy. That movie's fucking
That movie
hilarious.
is, I think it's just the visual of they're getting stoned and then it just the perfect. They're like, or they're talking about drive. Like, I'm baked, man. I can't drive. And then I don't forget the lead guy's name. He's Adam Sandler's friend, but he's like, I can't drive either. And then the monkey's sitting there, and then it just does the fucking cut to the fucking monkey screaming and
Yeah, I know.
launching the wheel around, and they're like, ah! And then he screams, "Drive, monkey, drive!" This is the funniest shit ever to me.
That's crazy. The movie's very underrated to me.
I know.
Like, not enough people talk about Grandma's Boy.
His fucking roommate's a very probably racist tribesman from Africa.
Oh, the African tribesman?
Yeah, he's
I
like a
remember
voodoo
that.
guy.
I forgot what they
His
call
name's
him.
like
on there.
Dr. Shivago.
Yeah, it's something funny. I
No,
don't
that's
remember.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
Dr. Strangelove.
That's also a movie. Stanley Kubrick.
I haven't seen that yet. It's supposed to be funny too.
Yeah, it's like a 60s funny.
Ooh.
So not.
Yeah, I know.
It's a nice satire. It's a very poignant satire, I believe. But it's not the funniest movie.
Dr. Strangelove. Oh wait, that's Dr.
Feelgood. Motley Crue.
I know. Yeah.
funny.
Fuck Motley Crue. Never been that big of a fan of the Motley Crue.
Hell yeah, I've seen them 3 times, all because of somebody else. And all 3 times that I've seen them, the act before them kicked their ass.
Yeah, because Vince Neil's
He is shit.
he's
He
a
is
sad
bad
man.
live.
He's
He
like
is fat and
overweight
out
and
of shape.
old and drinking too much still and doing too many. He thinks he's still like 25. He's like, we're fucking partying.
It's hard to watch, right? Because I think when you see an artist like Prince, and to me, Prince is synonymous with fashion, right? So it's harder to imagine him not being fashionable than these hairband guys. The hairband guys are allowed to grow up and put on different clothes.
And put
You know what
makeup
I
on,
mean?
look like
Like,
a woman.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, Prince used to dress crazy, and then as he gets older, he still maintained a sense of style, but he wasn't dressing like a 25-year-old anymore.
Yeah,
You
you're
know
just
what I
adapt
mean?
to your age.
And he's more well known for it. A lot of the hair guys dress the exact same way they did back then, and it does not look good on their body types.
No,
lot
now
of
they're all
tight leather.
fat and giant beer
And,
belly
like,
and old.
when you're 22 years old and you're skinny and your face is thin and pretty and you put on makeup, it looks cool, I guess. When you're 42 years old with a goatee and your face is bloated,
You're just like, oh god,
the
give it
mascara
up.
doesn't look as cool anymore. You know what I mean? Like
The
for a
numb.
rock star, at least, anyways. Like if you want to dress like that in your free time, you're more than welcome to do what you want to do. But if that's your cool look,
I will say one guy that can still pull it off is Alice Cooper because he still looks badass in his makeup. He's still skinny too.
he also does the makeup for Alice Cooper. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's
there's
unique
also- there
enough
you
where it
go.
looks like a horror character. Like they're still trying to look like hot girls.
That's the sad part is they won't give it up just because that was like the best. They were just fucking constantly partying, like banging a chick every night. They were like, this is the best. And now they're like 50 and they're like, I still want to do that. And it just looks sad.
Be
they can't give
completely
it up.
honest. In the history of rock, is hair the worst trend?
Yeah, probably.
Worse than new metal? To me, those are the two.
Yeah, there's some good new metal.
There's some good hair too, though.
I know, but I think there's more good new metal than there was hair.
Who are we considering new metal? Are we talking about System of a Down and
Yeah,
Rage
System of a
Against
Down,
the
like
Machine?
Rage. A
Korn's
little bit of good
alright?
corn.
I guess early Slipknot's kind of new metal too.
Yeah, Slipknot.
Although I'm a little more hesitant to associate them just because they're more metal than new metal. I guess.
POD. I'm just
No,
kidding.
yeah,
They
no,
suck.
thank you. Is that the Youth of the Nation?
We are.
Nope, not me.
Yeah, they're like super Christian.
I was gonna say, but then in the hair, to me, Scorpions are legit the shit. I think the Scorpions are an awesome band.
I know, they're badass. They're German
And
as
it's
hell.
hard to associate them with hair metal,
Yeah, I don't even really know if they're hair.
but they would definitely be hair in most people's eyes. They were in the genre at the time. They would tour with hair bands consistently. To me, that automatically throws you in there almost.
Mhm. Poison's good at times.
I got some Poison songs that I like. Gets tougher after that.
I
off
know.
the dome, actually.
It is. There's usually
Dockin',
like one each.
Dockin' Straight.
Oh yeah, Freddy Krueger. They made it cooler.
Yeah. Dream Warriors.
Hell yeah.
What else is there? That's a rough one. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe hair metal is worse.
I know, hair
I don't know
metal's
because
tough.
honestly,
'Cause there's like songs here and there, but it's only like one. From
okay,
like a
but
few-
is bad
so
hair
often.
metal as bad new metal?
Yeah. There's some
What's
shitty
the
ass hair metal.
Worst new metal versus the worst hair. Like, is there anything in hair that's worse than Limp Bizkit or Papa
Yeah,
Roach?
dude, there's some shitty ass shit. Like
or
if there's
Papa Roach.
is Papa Roach new metal?
I
Is
think
Papa
that's-
Roach like, come on, take on anyone? What's that big Papa Roach
Oh,
song?
that's Headstrong. I don't know who sings that. No, Papa Roach is Last Resort.
Damn it, how does that shit go again?
I don't have to sing all of them.
It's
'Cause
like,
it's cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.
God, that song's so
Yeah.
fucking bad.
A lot of those when I was younger. I
Yeah.
heard a lot of that shit. That's why I'm asking, because like having listened to a lot of it, like okay, even the bands that I can't stand, like most people would consider Van Halen hair metal,
Mm.
and I think Van
They're
Halen's got
fucking
some badass music in some spots.
Yeah, they have Eddie. Because he can shred.
And I can
I wonder
see.
how shittier they would be if they didn't have Eddie shredding.
I'm not 100% sure because David Lee Roth was pretty good.
Yeah, he was a showman. He was crazy.
Yeah, he had a cool voice for what he was doing.
He always had like an interlude in every song. It'd be like, I'm pulling this chick's pants down. We're putting the seat back.
Yeah.
She's about to blow me.
Ow!
know.
Shit like that. He is definitely one of them. I think that's one of the biggest factors for me when you're looking at the difference, though. With new metal, the bands that are generally considered new metal, like for me, it's hard. Rage Against the Machine predates new metal by a little bit, but they kind of like
Yeah, 'cause it's, like,
ushered it in.
rappy
They're like
metal.
they grandfather, you know what I mean? They're the first of them. But then like System of a Down, I guess, but
They're
You
the
know,
shit.
yeah, that's a
They're
great
like their
fucking-
own genre. They're
that's
fucking
I know
out.
it's hard to
They
associate
fucking
them with
like did their
something.
own thing. That's why they're so incredible.
Whereas like new metal, I generally associate with like Iron Butterfly, Crazy Town. You know what I mean? Like
Is Iron Butterfly?
not Iron
Got
Butterfly.
An
I got the my songs
in a
mixed up.
garden of
The
reed.
song's called Butterfly by Crazy Town. You know what I'm talking about?
Be my butterfly.
Yeah, that's
sugar, baby.
So a lot of
Come
those
on, lady.
bands versus a lot of the hair bands.
God, that song's bad. Yeah, new metal's very, very bad. I don't know. It's tough because like when you listen to like strictly hair metal radio station, you're like, wow, there's some shit. Because it's just like
Generic.
dude, it's the most simple
Yeah.
music because it's all about just the 80s. That's all the 80s was really about, just like partying and having a good time. And that's all the hair metal songs are about most of the time.
And all the hair metal people shit on some of the new wave people. And musically, I think some of the new wave music is
And
far
they-
better. It's far superior.
Hair metal people hate grunge too because they're like, it's too depressing. Just because their music's so like, we're partying.
Do you think
But
it's
the
because
grunge
it
is
killed
like-
hair? because I think
That is why they hate it too, and because it's like sad.
And most people that I know today who grew up in that era now
they
have
killed their music.
now have an affinity for like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and stuff. Like now they look back and go like, these guys weren't that bad. Like these were the better examples of it.
Yeah, grunge is amazing.
Although if we're talking about like 90s alternative, I think see, that's why like to me new metal and hair got to be the two worst eras in the history of rock because one, the eras today aren't popular enough to even have their own title. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like the dark era.
I'm trying to think if there's like one specific hair metal song. What's that song music called? Hair metal?
Hair metal, like
hair metal.
hair metal.
Hair metal song that's as bad as
Glam rock is another. I think that's a little bit more like Bowie, Queen type stuff with the glam rock, but hair metal built off the pageantry.
I know.
They didn't do more with it. Like it's more theatrical back in those days. Like Bowie is way more theatrical than
Like
Poison
it was like
or
characters
something.
and concepts.
Yeah, exactly.
And hair metal's just like
Queen was like a performance artist sometimes. Like they would do some pretty experimental storytelling.
Yeah, I
with their
know.
music.
For the 70s, that's what it's always crazy to think about. People were thinking shit like that back in the day, and you're like, as to now, with like zero technology, you're like, damn, man, they're on some next level shit.
Oh yeah, when you see the shit Pink Floyd did and some of the equipment they had, you're like, how did they get this stuff?
Like that acid must have been amazing.
Oh well, it was. Yeah, that acid was a little bit too strong. It took somebody's brain away from him.
Yeah, at least he's shining on that crazy diamond.
True, it did lead to "Shine On You Crazy Diamond," so I guess
that whole album.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it's scary to think about when they're on their drugs. You're like, damn, they must have came back to real life and been like, so you guys saw that shit, right? We got to do that.
Yeah.
Time.
Somebody's like, write that down. Write that down. He's like, I just said time. He's like, yeah, but the way you said it.
For real, man, he has that voice. His voice is mesmerizing.
I love David Gilmour. I think
I was guitar.
Having a conversation with somebody about that the other day, and you can hear it in the mute. Like Roger Waters is such a good songwriter. But
Dude,
David Gilmour,
he can tell a story with a guitar.
Without the music, you know what I mean? And it's just a perfect collaboration together. But then it's wild because when you take Roger Waters out of Pink Floyd's still pretty fucking awesome.
Those are the two people who I think would be the greatest reunion that are still alive if they fucking put their differences aside and did like one last tour because they're so old. I would go to that shit immediately. That'd be incredible.
I think I'd also like to see.
But they fucking hate each other.
And they're not on the same level in my opinion. But I would love to see Oasis get back together.
That would be huge too, actually.
I think Oasis would be really cool. It'd be good for music too.
Big.
Because those 70s bands, a lot of them die before they get a chance to. And that's hard to watch, you know what I mean? Or when they do get together, it's really bad. Have you ever seen when Led Zeppelin got back together for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It was in like 97 or 98 or something like that.
That's sad.
And you can watch the videos. It sounds like Robert Plant and Jimmy Page are just trying to play over one another.
Well, they hate each other.
And you can hear it in the performance. Like they're coming together to honor their career and their legacy. And they're just playing hard and fast. And it's not like in a good aggressive way. It's in more of a like, all right, let's get this over with. And yeah, this is my stage. Like we're going to outdo each other. It's weird.
There's another example like that. It was a couple years back when David Lee Roth got back with Van Halen. I guess it wasn't the same kind of example, but it was just sad to watch because he definitely doesn't have it anymore. His voice sounds horrible, so it was just sad.
Wasn't that Kimmel?
Yeah, he came back on Kimmel. That was their very first one back together, and he was like it was horrible sounding. You're like, oh.
I know it's hard, especially because people have been clamoring for that specific lineup like that.
Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
I agree completely. And rest in peace to Eddie Van Halen, I guess. Unfortunately, we
Yeah.
got to cover that.
That was a timely one, R.I.P.
I guess to that point, primarily dead artists, but if you could go to one concert in history, if there's one artist that you could bring back for a show, who would that artist be? It's a no-brainer for me, if you want to think about it for a second. Because I think right now it's definitely got to be. I'd love to see Freddie Mercury and Queen together. Just because the guy could rock a stage like no other. And the amount of charisma he had, plus how familiar I am with their catalog, like I feel like that'd be a fucking awesome show. That or Bowie. I'd love to see Bowie live as well.
I know, that'd be amazing. I feel like I think I'd go with John Lennon.
Would you do a Beatles show or a John Lennon show? Because a Beatles show would make me happier than hell too.
Dude, that'd be insane. A Beatles show?
Even if they played like a quarter of their hits, you know what I mean? Like that's still a fucking great lineup.
This is the fucking Beatles!
The set list would be incredible.
This is the Beatles!
Do you think the Beatles would have the best set list
Yeah, just
Out of
because they have
any
the fucking
band.
like every song they have is good.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. You could play shit that's kind of obscure and it'd make you happy because like that's still a hit though.
They have like the most popular discography ever. So like everybody in the entire crowd would be singing along at
Yeah.
the same time. It'd be like the most atmospherical concert ever.
There'd be a good balance between like epic songs and just fun songs to keep you up, and then beautiful slow ballads and
And it's cool with them. Each one of them has their own song, so they would all get a chance to sing. You'd be like,
yeah.
that's my favorite. No, that's my
You
favorite.
get a little While My Guitar Gently Weeps, some Helter Skelter. Was Helter Skelter Paul or John? John, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got
Screams. That's a fucking good ass song.
Blackbird, and you can do a little Help from
Polly.
My Friends.
Yeah, Ringo can be
Yeah, you
last.
can do the rotation. I love that song though. I can't
Yeah,
complain.
he's got a couple bangers, but he's the worst.
Yeah. He's got a fun personality. Seems like a cool guy.
He's the cheeky one.
Yeah, he really is.
That's what
He
Paul
just comes in and drops a joke.
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, I was basically the biggest Beatle," and they're all like, "Yeah, I know you weren't." He's like,
He's like, I got that Skechers deal. He's got that Skechers sponsorship.
yeah, Beatles would be a really good one. I'd love to see Jimi Hendrix. That'd make
That
me
would be
incredibly
amazing.
happy.
He does the national anthem to open it up.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would
Every
be
single
incredible.
show. Yeah.
Damn, that'd be a good ass. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Right into All Along the Watchtower.
Yeah, that being stoned at his
right off the
concert.
bat. I know that'd be a great one.
It'd be all hippie ass motherfucker. There'd be so much tie dye. There'd be so many hippies.
I'd love to go to a Pot concert,
A what?
a Tupac
Oh,
concert.
I thought you said a pot concert. I was like, what? That just sounds like what's those one Mexican dudes?
Which ones?
The rappers.
Cypress Hill.
Yeah, that sounds like a Cypress Hill concert.
I'd like to see Cypress Hill too.
That
Not as
would
much
be
as all
hype as
those other
fuck.
guys.
That
That'd
would
be a
be
great
hype as
show though.
fuck. Because Cypress Hill's the shit.
Yeah, I'd like to see Tupac. I think that'd be a great show.
That would be scary.
I'd love to do
That'd be
Outkast.
insane.
I'd like
That
to
would
see
be fun.
Outkast live. I know those guys aren't dead, but it seems like that's probably very unlikely to ever see.
Yeah, they're dead to each other.
They just performed like a year or two ago, though. Didn't they do
Oh,
Coachella?
shit!
Was it Coachella they did?
Oh yeah, that was huge.
So maybe they got a little bit left in them. They might do a reunion tour. We got tickets to the Rage Against the Machine reunion
I know,
tour,
if they
but
don't
the
cancel
world's
it.
never going to let it happen.
I feel like it's just gonna end up getting canceled just to be safe.
I was ecstatic about that show as well. I wasn't ecstatic about the price, but I was really excited to see those guys live.
And I
love
was
Rage.
excited to go, and then we could just scream anarchy, anarchy, just because you would be allowed there. Then it'd be too intense not to.
That's another one that just do not
Rage.
Joy Division. I'd like to see Joy Division live too. That's not
I
possible.
know. That'd be probably a depressing show.
'Cause then you could jump into some New Order stuff too right after seamlessly, and it'd be no issue.
They'd kick the guy off the stage.
Yeah, basically. Or just
All right,
bring
go
them
in the
out at the
back.
very end for the closers, like jump into the Joy Division stuff for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It's like, by the way,
We got him!
him. Yeah,
I know. Sorry for not knowing that guy's name. Joy
I don't
Division.
either, but
He's
made
got one
two
of the best
great
albums of all time.
Yeah, those are two good albums. Unknown Pleasures is a very underrated album. A lot of people wear the T-shirt though.
I know. That's actually one of the most popular like
Yeah,
graphic band tees for
that's
some
how the
reason.
Misfits shirt is as well.
And usually that shirt pisses me off because the people that wear it don't even know who the fuck that is.
That's
'Cause
why I
the
won't
big
wear a
one.
Misfits shirt. I don't listen to their music.
I know, man. Danzig just got that big long ass thing of hair going down his face like a
the
vampire. Man.
Over gelling it. Yeah.
The funniest thing ever to me is what's that show with Meatwad and
Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, they talk mad shit about him.
Yeah.
Because he's so short and he's like a little man complex hard ass guy and he's punk, so he's like, if you want to here.
That episode is funny.
That's
as
my Glenn
hell.
Danzig
I know what you
impression.
mean. Don't they have him on an episode?
Huh?
He gets his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the
that's
neighbor
hilarious.
across the street.
I'm pretty sure there's a video of him getting into a fight with somebody and getting knocked out.
I wouldn't doubt it. He seems like a fake hard ass just because he's
So
a punk guy.
works itself out.
Is he a vampire?
No,
Okay.
no. Vampires are cool. No disrespect to Glenn Danzig. I like Mother. I also
That's
like
actually a very underrated
I
album.
like Twist of Cain too.
Twisted Cane.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
like
very
that song
underrated
as well.
album. There's some good songs on that album.
Another one that I can't see because they're passed away. I would love to see the Clash live.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, they have such a good discography.
They have a great catalog.
and that'd be a
hell
fun
of
concert just
show.
because they have like feel good music.
And their music's so all over the place that you'd get a lot of different tastes that night. It wouldn't just be one sound consistently. Like they have a very diverse body of music. Like they experiment, especially once you get into what's that album called? Like Magnistica or something like that.
Oh yeah, it's like some Spanish.
Yeah, I don't know what the name of the album is off the top of my head, but they got a lot of really like
That's got
experimental music on
Charlie
there.
Don't Surf on there.
That's my favorite song on that album.
That's a good ass
Charlie
song.
Don't Surf. Hell yeah.
All the
Good
fucking
shout out.
best. All the There's so many good songs from the 70s that were just fucking Vietnam songs about Vietnam protesting it.
Oh yeah, late 60s, early 70s. That's a great period for music. In my opinion, when I go back, 67 to like 72 is the best 5-year period ever. And people are more than welcome to debate that with me. I love that conversation, so please debate that with me. Not just to debate it, just so I can hear what your guys' taste in music is. But 67 to 72, man, you're talking about some of the best Zeppelin shit, some of the
Beatles
best
shit.
Bowie shit, the
Jimi
end of the Beatles
Hendrix.
catalog, the Jimi
Pink
Hendrix
Floyd.
stuff. You got the Pink Floyd stuff. You got Bob Dylan's
Janis
best stuff.
Jop.
Janis Joplin type stuff. And that's just the big shit. That's not counting the Doors and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Yeah, never. Jesus.
Just some of, and those are just the biggest artists as well. Those aren't considering some of the soul artists and some of the funk shit. I believe
Santana.
Maggot Brain was in 1971, so you got Funkadelic coming out around that time as well. You got Marvin Gaye. What's
Oh,
going
yeah, that's
on?
right. CCR.
I'm pretty sure
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Inner Visions is 68.
Oh yeah, he was blind
Stevie
as hell.
Wonder.
Yep.
So that period, that 5-year period of music is fucking incredible, and it's so hard to top.
The 70s are definitely my favorite, and also the 90s, just because I fucking love grunge.
I'm nostalgic for the 90s as well.
I know, because we grew up there too, so it's awesome.
I'm realizing that right now. We're watching Buffy all the way through.
They're playing
And-
grunge.
The music kind of kills me because it's off-brand grunge, so it's really annoying.
Can't get the rights.
But with that being said, just the whole like aesthetic of the show makes me feel like a kid. It's
Damn.
cool.
David Boreanaz is in there.
David Boreanaz, yep.
I was gonna say callback, but that was before we started recording.
Fuck SEAL Team 6. Is that the name of the show?
It's SEAL Team, I think.
Whatever the David Boreanaz show on CBS is right now.
Yeah, he took a shitty turn. It looks like.
Nah, dude, he's made so much money. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
I
gotta
guess he's
think-
getting big ass contracts. So he's like, I don't care if this is not fulfilling. I'll take the money.
Pretty sure he went Buffy,
Angel.
straight into Angel. By the time Angel ends, straight into Bones,
Oh,
which was on the air for like 15
damn, dude, he's had
20
such a good like
seasons.
TV career.
Absolutely. There's a few guys like that. Matt LeBlanc, when you look at his career now, you start realizing
Well, I'm sure he was just good off the Friends money. let's
he
be
was good
honest.
off the Friends money, but he did a show called Episodes on Showtime, which got him
I
a
didn't know
decent amount of accreditation. Also, I'm pretty sure he's on Top Gear now. This is just a TV show.
The car show.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was a car guy.
I didn't either.
I think he was also on another sitcom recently, but I can't remember just because I don't give a fuck about Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, I don't really follow the Friends. But
Yeah, not
that's-
a big Friends guy.
Me neither. It's no disrespect to Friends. It's just never really been my cup of tea.
Yeah, it was that. It seemed like to me like it was always a competition between Friends and Seinfeld. Although were they the same era?
I
But especially
believe
just because the '90s.
Seinfeld and Friends ran for like 2 or 3 years together. Because Friends took over Seinfeld's time slot in NBC. And it also took over its spot as the highest rated show on television.
Damn you, Friends!
Hey,
Yeah.
man, Friends, they were making like $1 million an episode towards the end there.
You want to know what else pisses me off? The Jersey Shore cast is making $1 million towards the end every episode.
Aren't they back?
Yes,
Are they still making that money?
probably. I wouldn't. They're
crazy.
probably so. It's like Jersey Shore family reunion. That's what they call it.
Oh, so they're not making as much money.
Probably
That's
not.
why. If they're
I
all
hope
back,
not.
if they're all back, then they don't have the value that they had then if they were doing $1 million an episode.
They just all hang. They come back and then to talk about the old shit, and then still go out and party, but they're all married.
Huh.
So it's just like
That sounds
Tom
equally
Lingerie.
entertaining.
I know. They're all just tan and going down to the boardwalk and humping each other. It's still the same old shit.
Yeah, it just sounds more sad now.
That when we were in high school, that was like the biggest show. People went to school and always talked about that shit.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I didn't get that cultural phenomenon even a little bit. That's one that never made a fucking lick of sense to me.
It was fucking rough.
And don't get me wrong, I was at a point in my life where I was pretty against anything super popular anyways. But in retrospect, I've looked back, like Paranormal Activity, for example. I was really hard on those movies in high school.
Yeah, that first one's pretty scary.
And they're not great movies still. I legitimately don't believe they're that good. They're boring. There's a lot of nothing in those movies. And I understand on your first viewing, it creates suspense. But when you watch them back, you're like, okay, there's nothing happening in a lot of these scenes. And there's not like a good story to it or anything.
Yeah.
But it's a little freaky. It's fun. Like they do the camera stuff really well.
Mhm.
Like it made sense. It looks like a found footage movie for that time.
And they did like the paranormal shit.
Yeah, and the first one set the standard for those kind of movies for a little while.
It also took a page out of Blair Witch's book and kind of tried to angle it like it was a real thing.
Exactly, yeah, and I think that was another big element to it. But when I look back on it, I at least get it now. I still don't understand Jersey Shore. Like that's one that just it never landed with me. I never saw the appeal.
I think it was popular for people just because we were in high school. So like as everyone's people want to party, and that show is all about just drinking, partying, and having sex. So everyone's like, I love this shit.
I remember everybody putting the bumps up in their hair.
Yeah, the
to give it a
snicky
snicky
bump.
look.
And then people fucking yelled like all their lingo shit. People would say that shit at, like party, like it's t-shirt time. Yeah,
The grenade. I remember somebody.
Grenade,
What was
ugly
the thing
chicks.
that they have?
the
It was like
grenade
a-
whistle.
Somebody brought one of those to school.
Yeah,
and I
those got
remember-
popular.
yeah.
Like Spencer's Gifts, people would sell those and buy them, and then take them to parties and be like, "Ooh, what? It's just a vuvuzela from the World Cup."
Could you imagine trying to market a grenade
Grenade
horn
whistle.
today or a grenade whistle? Like,
Yeah,
hey,
hell
don't
no,
fuck
they'd get
her. She's
canceled.
ugly. You know what I mean? Like that'd be a huge store.
That would
Or
get
huge
taken down
yeah.
incredibly quick with the swiftness.
That wouldn't work like that today. That's crazy to me. Like I said, it's just weird looking back on it because I'm like, I never really fully got it.
And now they're back again.
And they like a lot of those people bled into wrestling, and that was also annoying.
I forgot about that.
It wasn't just one either. It
It's
was
because
a
they're
few of 'em.
characters, because they have their character people. So
Yeah, but
works kinda. Snooki and Mike the Situation, right?
there was a few of them that went over to Impact Wrestling.
That's even more sad.
Yeah, it's really sad to watch. I know for both parties, to be
I
honest.
know. What the hell?
Impact Wrestling is a joke. It's always been off budget WWE.
I know.
They
it
can
was-
try their hardest to be other things, and I get that there are people who are probably fans. But when you saw that shit, you were watching the off-brand wrestling. Like,
It was fun as a kid though, because I would watch that shit just because it was like it's another, and it was crazy as a kid. You're like, this shit's wild.
I used to like
and
Impact.
they had Stinker.
They had AJ Styles, who was fucking incredible. They had Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe was the shit. He was my favorite.
So they had a nice little period there where they had a lot of talented guys. But no matter what, it always felt, even at its best, it always felt like WWE light.
yeah, I know.
And that's
They did some
unfortunate.
offhand shit,
Yes, they did.
but it was fun at least.
Sometimes. They've also done some of the worst shit. Some of the funniest, like,
Oh, and Big Papa Pump is the funniest shit.
oh, that's, yeah, I was going to say, that's some of their bloopers, though, like some of their, like, mistakes are legitimately some of the cringiest but funniest in wrestling history. Because everybody always looks at, like, that Booker T video where he slipped up and called Hulk Hogan the N-word, or there's a few other old ones, like the Shockmaster where he falls during his debut.
Yeah, that's probably the number one.
But in Impact, they had some TNA, what it used to be. They've got some horrible things. There was one of them one time.
And it was on Spike TV. That's not even
Exact-
around anymore.
I know, it was getting a big
It was
numbers.
the men channel.
That show was pulling better ratings than WWE is right now sometimes. It's just really sad. There was a match between Jeff Hardy and Sting, and Jeff Hardy is very clearly severely intoxicated in the match. And this is like the main event of a pay-per-view. And it's just so sad to watch. Like, they had to fucking on the fly, like, end the match in 30 seconds, and he tries kicking out, but they won't let him, and he gets up all mad and confused. And
Was Jeff Hardy off that perk again?
oh, he was for sure. Yeah, he was.
There was so much perk going on in TNA.
Oh, that was Perk Angle.
I know, that was fucking perk angle. That's when he was doing moonsaults over the top of the cage.
Yeah, like 3 times a week it felt like. He does that spot every time there's a cage, and he was like 40 doing that shit.
That's the only way he was able to because he was off that perk, so he couldn't feel it.
Kurt Angle has never landed a moonsault in his career. He just takes the stomach bump every single time.
And after probably the 10th time, you're like, all right, that's starting to give me brain damage.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're fucking your body up.
And now when he walks, it looks like his hips are like mechanical.
That might just be an amateur wrestling thing, though. A
Probably.
lot of amateur wrestlers get the wrestling hips, it looks like.
Yeah.
You got to use a lot of hips to wrestle.
The pills probably don't help, but still, yeah.
They definitely don't help either, no.
Because he looks very rough in the face and like the skin.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's only
sad.
like 40.
He's also got
45.
neck issues. You can see that as well.
That's probably from the moonsault.
That's also from breaking his neck at the
Or
Olympics.
the angle slam. Oh, yeah. Is that how you do their impersonation?
With a broken freaking neck. It's a really good Kurt Angle, I think.
He's got one of the funniest people to impersonate, and so is Stone Cold, just because it's funny. And the
Steve
Rock.
Austin impressions are the funniest thing ever. People like Ric Flair the most, though. That's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
most people's go-to impression. They hit the woo.
Bret-
Some of those
or,
nice catchphrases.
Bret Hart's a funny one.
I've always loved a Dusty Rhodes impression if somebody can pull off a good Dusty.
You just got to get a lisp.
Mm-hmm.
And just be a plumber.
Hell yeah. You got anything specific you want to wrap up on?
When you were a kid, did your parents ever like call a plumber to fix shit?
Periodically, if there was an issue with something that needed plumbing, like the sink.
Okay, so that wasn't me, just me then. But then he would take like the plunger and some. I hate picturing this every single time, but
There's a lot of suspense.
yeah, he would pretty much just plunge the toilet and it would unclog it. So
The plunger?
yeah,
Or, God damn it. The plumber?
yeah,
So you guys would call a plumber to unplug the toilet?
hell yeah. It was the 2010s, baby.
You guys couldn't plunge it on your own?
I don't think we had that kind of capabilities back then. It was only like that was like 2010. Now, one time I remember a plumber that was a family friend. So one time, like just for money, he was like, "I'll take you along for the day and work with him." And at first, he was like, "Let's wake up at 7:00." So I had to wake up at 7:00. So I was like, "God damn it, this shit's way too fucking early." And then before he even started, he took me out to breakfast. So it's like, wait, I'm not even hungry at that crack of dawn because I'm too tired. So I sat there and like fucking had a force down food, and then we go and do the job. So I'm like, I'm full. I don't even know what plumbing was. I thought it was just gonna be like we're going into toilets and like touching shit. So I was honestly
About how old were you?
Probably like 20.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't like 6 or anything, but like yeah, probably like 20. And there was a jackhammer involved. Seriously, I'm not even joking.
What'd you guys use a jackhammer on?
Like to get move concrete away from the pipes. And I was like, damn, I didn't know you could use a jackhammer. That was also the first time I used a jackhammer. It was very cartoony because that's the only time I remember it, like Looney Tune.
Using the jackhammers?
Yeah, so it was funny to me. I was like, I felt like Bugs Bunny was gonna come in or something.
That's funny.
Use it against me. Because I remember that shit from Looney Tunes all the time. But yeah, plumbing's fucking horrible. Don't ever do it. That was my point, pretty much.
Yeah, I've heard plumbing is an
And
incredibly
you gotta deal with a lot of bullshit.
You gotta deal with a lot of human shit, too.
I know, man.
That's a perfect place to end it off on. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Dennis Kaminsky.
I'm Dylan Woolley. And check out my origami YouTube page.